Well, the murderous paedophile ring uncovered in a Plettenberg Bay home has thrown child pornography and cybercrime back into the spotlight. The task team of Belgium and South African police had been tipped off days before by the internet service provider to the 37-year-old suspect. In the 3 minutes it appeared on the site, a previously unknown meeting space for paedophiles whose alleged fetishes are the abduction, rape, torture and murder of newborn babies and infants in nappies. Police copied the internet address of the Plettenberg Bay computer engineer. To help us unravel the psyche of child sex offenders, we have in studio Dr. Sats Cooper. He's the president of the International Union of Psychological Sciences. Good afternoon, Dr. Cooper, and thank you for your time on the PM News Desk.
Good afternoon.
What is paedophilia? Is this a psychiatric disorder? And if so, can it actually be cured or just managed?
Well, it is definitely a psychiatric disorder. It is an accelerated attraction or fixation by anybody who's over 16 years of age for a prepubescent child.
Well, not all paedophiles are child molesters. Break it down for us. Is it just a variance in motivation?
Yes, I think you can say that the one has a desire, that is the paedophile, desires and has a sexual attraction to prepubescent children, versus the molester acts this out. So the kind of person who was arrested in Plettenberg Bay would be the person who's acted out this fantasy.
I see. What would cause such a disorder? Are there some sort of triggers? Is it hereditary factors that are playing a role here?
The recent research seems to suggest that there are neurological indicators. MRI studies are being done for this. However, the characteristics of such persons are introversion, shyness, being loners, having low self-esteem, people who could be depressed, and not usually engaging in the kinds of socialization and social activity that ordinary adults engage in. In the population, it could be 1 in 20 males, there are females, but 1 in 20 males could have pedophiliac tendencies, but not all of them act it out. It could be 2 out of 3 acting it out.
So often when a sexual predator is apprehended eventually or finally arrested, friends, families, the neighborhood at large respond with shock, saying, well, he or she looks so normal. What does a sexual offender look like?
Well, your everyday types. There's no stereotype. It's just like murder. It's just like any criminal out there. There's no stereotype for it. Otherwise, we'll go back to the old thing and say, well, all blacks are and all whites are. It's not true. It is by their behavior, loneness, and you see, the advent of the internet allows these loners to connect vicariously with other such loners anywhere else in the world, and they tend to be quite secretive and share these images however they've gotten them amongst themselves. And in that, one has secondary victimization of these children, because the image of that child is out there. It often can get morphed into something else, but it's out there, and that child is being abused each time somebody watches it.
All right. Is there something which should alert us to the possibility of a child that's being abused by an adult? What are the signs we should look at?
Well, look, Kirshini, those are, there's enough checkbook things out there on the internet and so on. You know, a child behaving in this way or that way. I think we should turn that around a little bit and say, for adults, for caregivers, and especially for parents, be in touch with your child. Know your child, know how they behave, know their feelings, be in touch with them. And when anything unusual happens, that child will feel freer to share it with you so that you can intercede. But having a detached approach, a don't care approach, allows your child to explore readily available material, even via their simple things like a cell phone.
Doctor, speak to us quickly about the effects of pornography on human behavior, especially with regards to the sexual exploitation of minors.
I think for children, seeing vivid sexual imagery does give them a warped sense, especially if it's an early, immature age. Gives them a warped sense of reality and allows them to become prey to this kind of predator. So one needs healthy images. Therefore, that taboo that afflicts our society of not speaking about reality, about life to our children, ought to be struck across. We need to actually arm and equip our kids, because information is power in their hands, rather than allow them to continue to be predators in this electronic age to such predators and molesters out there.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper, for your time on SABC News. Dr. Sats Cooper, he's the president of the International Union of Psychological Science.